Coach, how do you bounce back from? What happened? Let's just begin there. What happened on that play?
Well, we had two guys in position right there on the goal line. One kind of coming from the boundary there, and one guy behind him, which is what you want there. And the ball's in the air, and it's just amazing that it went between us. You know, probably could have been a little more aggressive. We talked about it on film on Monday with the players, and you know, if you get a pass interference call there, it's only 15 yards, and you live another down, and you got probably 0.7 seconds, and they just move the ball up 15. They probably get another shot at it, but you know, it was probably the toughest loss I've ever had, and it was tough on our team. You know, to be so, you know, closer than we've been the last few, and to come out on the short end is it's a tough pill to swallow. But the kids have really bounced back really good yesterday. I did some things different yesterday in Monday Night Football. We had a good practice, first of all, and we worked on some of those deep balls, a bunch of them actually in practice, to get some things squared away and put some new guys in some different positions to see how they reacted, and we'll evaluate that during the course of the week here before we go into the game. But you know, at the end of the day, we had Monday Night Football, and to change things up a little bit, I let Dominic Barnes and Rodemore call the offense. You know, them boys always want to call plays, so I let them call the offense, and then Luke Matlin and Mr. Gooden called the defense, and defense got the best of the offense. We had the ball down there on the 1-inch line, and defense made a play at the end to get the win. But the kids had some fun with it, and their spirits are positive, and you know, we got one more game to play, and it's here at home in front of our crowd, and we look forward to that chance.
Do you look back and say, you know, we should have been deeper on that play on the goal line? Maybe had a couple guys stationed at the goal line. I mean,
well, you know, we're in basically a form of a prevent defense. You know, we had a gentleman behind the receiver when the ball was there. Just probably just didn't make a play. I mean, by all rights, if you do it 9 out of 10 times, if you do it over again, I'd say it probably goes, or you know, in our favor if you just probably are a little bit more aggressive towards the ball there. But we had two guys in position. It's not like the guy's running scot-free, wide open, and there's no one there. So that's a tough one to take, you know. And truthfully, you know, the play earlier, they caught a guy in between three guys there, and we had a sack, and we fell down and didn't get the sack. So, you know, if we make a sack there on the play before, the clock's running, they got to scurry, and might not be able to get set or get it in there. But that's just we just slipped and fell. So, got to keep your feet.
Coach, what do you think the biggest lesson is that this team has learned about itself through the course of this first season?
Well, I think there's a bunch of lessons that you can really dwell on, but I think there's a couple things you can look at, and you know, we've learned that we have to find a way to finish games. And you know, when you look at the whole game, a lot of people want to dwell on one play at the end of the game, but you know, the fact of the matter is we got a punt blocked, okay? And we got a punt blocked because one gentleman doesn't block number 3. And you guys know it's pretty easy to count to 3. 1, 2, and 3. And he's been blocking 3 the whole game. The whole game. And for some reason, we don't block number 3. And you know, is that focus? I mean, what is that? You know, it's the same thing we did all week, the same thing we practiced. So if you don't block number 3, and we happen to bobble the snap, okay, understandable. But if we still block number 3, because they weren't running a block punt scheme, they're running a hold up scheme. They're just trying to rush our shield and hold those guys up. Well, if 3's coming free, he's going to go ahead and say, you know what, I might as well go ahead and block this punt. And we didn't block 3. And most of the time, when you get a block punt, you're probably not going to win a football game. So, you know, there's a lesson there. There's another lesson that, you know, all you have to do is just do your job, you know. If your job is to get a sack and you're running open to get a sack, get a sack. You know, we got to take care of the football. We had a fumble in the game earlier, you know, and that was disappointing. I didn't think that we got off to a very good start on offense. You know, it's the first time all year that we didn't come out and put one on the board, and that was disappointing. That I expect more of our offense. I expect our offense to control more of the football game. And really, in the first half, I thought we were out of sync, and we didn't get into any kind of rhythm until we got really back out of there after halftime. And you know, we got in there at halftime, talked about a few things, yelled a few things, as you guys can imagine, came back out and played. You know, so finishing football games, block punts and turnovers obviously have a big outcome. And when you break down our season and these close losses, it's really comes down to potentially 4 plays to 5 plays at the most during the course of the whole game that have made it outcome. You know, Western Illinois, we have the ball on offense. It's 3rd and 4. We run our basic football play, and we have a backup in because of injury, and we don't block the guy the way that you're coached to block the guy. And we don't convert 3rd and 4. We have to punt. You guys know what happened from there. So we had a chance there on offense again to close the game out and possess the football. You know, so those are the kind of things that we're learning, that you can't ever take one play for granted. And sometimes you have to lose this way to get that message across. And 99% of the guys can't do it right. 100% have to, if you expect to win close football games. And we'll get to that point, and this is a good lesson for us. It's a very difficult one, but it is a good lesson. Now, the other things that we've learned, I think, are, on the positive side, is we are never out of a football game. We may be playing teams that, truthfully, have better players, superior talent. I mean, there's teams that we've played that have a lot better talent right now than we do. But we're toe-to-toe with them to the end of the football game. So, you know, we realize that we have to do some things to continue to get better at Youngstown State. And that involves recruiting, that involves coaching, that involves development of players, that's watching cut-ups in the off-season, learning the game of football, understanding situations, and those are all things we can learn. In that game last week, it was interesting to see we're down 35-17 after a block punt. And very easily, there's 6 minutes left in the game. Everyone was thinking, this might be it. We come back, and 96-yard drive, I believe, 80-yard drive, defense holds them. We take the lead with what, 22 seconds left? What was it, 22 seconds? I mean, 26, whatever. I mean, you know, so we're never out of a football game. And as long as you're coached what you're coached to do around here, we will never be out of a football game unless we decide as players we're out of a football game. And that's the positive thing.
Eric, you talked about lessons and that sort of thing. What grade do you give yourself on this season?
You know, I'd say a D, an F. You know, I mean, I think it starts, you know, with myself, and I'm always going to be critical of myself. I'm the type of person that before you go to walk into a room and you want to, you know, continue to try to develop players and correct them. You know, did you put your players in a situation to win? And I think we have done that. I think you always second guess yourself on what could we have done just a little bit better or a little bit more, you know, whether it be practice preparation, game preparation, off-season training, summer program, you know, all the little things. I wouldn't necessarily do anything different than we've done. I would just maybe try to be even more hands-on than I've ever been before. You know, I think I'm a pretty hands-on coach as it is, and everything we do, but even be more hands-on and, you know, just continue to push and push, and, you know, but we're headed in the right direction from that standpoint. I expected us to do a better this year, even though we were picked 7th, you know, which obviously you guys know irritated me to no end. It's just I always believe that you can find a way to win football games by being creative, and we've been able to be creative enough to be in all these games and have a chance to win them. It's just, I think as coaches, you just wish you could find a way to get your players to make a play when they need to make one. And, you know, it's a difficult thing to deal with, you know. Why is a guy stand there and not make a play on the ball, you know? What could I have done better? Could I have thrown more deep balls to him, you know? And that's stuff that you got to live with. And I think when you don't win, you always think about, well, what can I do better? And it starts with myself. And that's where it'll always start. And that's what we got to continue to do as a program, continue to grow and hold everyone accountable from myself all the way down.